Hi, my name is Beth, and you're listening to the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I'm super excited that you're here and interested in how cannabis can interplay with your fitness and nutrition. You know, it can be an incredible tool in our toolbox for weight loss, for getting in shape, for maximizing your results in the gym, for all improving your nutrition, improving your sleep. I mean, all of the things, right? And so today, I'm actually gonna. This came to me because one of my clients said to me, "I am a little afraid of even taking CBD." Right? And this is a training client that I've been working with for years and years and years, and I am glad she finally admitted that to me. I by no means ever pressure clients into cannabis at all. It's absolutely a tool, by no means mandatory. I love it. Many of my clients also love it, but by no means do I force it on anyone because I understand. I understand what it's like to be hesitant. I mean, I grew up in the Dare era. Remember Dare? And they were like, oh, this is your brain on drugs. And it was an egg in a frying pan. So we thought that it would make us stupid. We thought it was terrible. By the way, they have found that the Dare program actually completely backfired, which I think is hilarious. But to be fair, we don't know 100% yet how it affects adolescents. So to be fair, there may be some truth to the fact that it's not great for children, right? We don't know yet. And that's because it's not legal. And that's also why I was scared. I mean, I was kind of a goody two shoes for a while there. I was like, it's illegal. Why would I try this, right? Didn't know anything about it, right? And that is sad, but true. And I know there's probably a lot of people out there, just like my client, just like I was, that don't understand, that don't know, you have all these memories of the DARE program. You have all these messages from the years that said, drugs are bad. Even marijuana, drugs are bad. Cannabis is bad. It's bad. It's dangerous. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. The truth is, it's a plant. The truth is, it was made illegal during Prohibition, and then they decided that because it was suppressing minorities, that they should keep it illegal because they wanted to keep the minorities in prison. Nixon, from what I understand, Nixon was a jerk, and he saw that there were a lot of minorities in prison because of cannabis, and he wanted to keep them there. And again, that's super simplified, right? But that's kind of the basis of it, right? And so it remained illegal. And I'm sure there's a lot of politics behind it, and I won't get into politics today. What I want to get into is why you don't need to be scared of cannabis. Why you don't need to be scared of CBD in particular. So I am going to talk specifically about CBD today because there is a large difference between CBD and THC. Normally, especially on the podcast, when I talk about cannabis, I'm talking about both because there's so many things that are similar, right? But in this case, I want to highlight the differences because yes, THC will make you high. And if that's something that turns you off and is a little scary, then I completely understand, right? I was 40? I was like 40 years old before I tried either. And so I was scared. I mean, come on. That's late. Most people try it when they're in high school and then they know how it feels. Most people have a bad experience too. So my goal is to help you understand, no matter what your age, and to have a good experience. It's very important to me that you don't have a bad experience. So if I emphasize something and I tell you something, I highly suggest that you take my advice. And so today we're going to talk about CBD. Now, I will tell you my experience. So, again, if you're new to me, if you're new to the podcast, I have been a personal trainer for most of my career here. And I've been working with clients to help them lose weight and get strong and flexible and all those things for about 16 years. I added a nutrition component during COVID. And then, well, I've always had help with nutrition, but legally, personal trainers aren't allowed to do nutrition. So I had to get a separate certification. So that was that. And then because I tried cannabis kind of in the closet, I fell in love with it. When it became legal in my state, I decided to get certified to be able to understand it more and to be able to help other people use it, because it's been such an incredible ally for me. And I want that for you as well, because it's all natural, and I'll get into that. So my first experience with CBD was 10 years ago. One of my clients actually brought it up. She said, have you heard about CBD? It's supposed to help with anxiety. And I was like, nope, never heard of it. I'll try it. So she's like, she sent me what she ordered. I ordered it too. I took it one day. It was a tincture. I took it, put it in my drawer, didn't feel anything, never took it again, right? And I do not want that to be you, all right? So we're going to talk about CBD, what it can do, and how to use it. So first things first, CBD is 100% natural, and it needs to be natural. So if you are looking at a CBD, we need to make sure that it is not synthetically created, okay? People are doing that because they're trying to, make things cheaper, basically. Probably make it in other countries and shipping it in. So be very cautious about buying things on the internet. Now, I am a resource. So if you are curious about something, feel free, shoot it over, send me an email. Say, hey, Beth, is this something I could buy? Is this a good product? Is this a good product? Shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm happy to look into it for you, because I can teach you how to tell the difference between something that's a quality product and something that's not a quality product. So it is all natural. You can grow it. I'm going to grow it. I bought an indoor tent because it's winter, and I'm planning on growing CBD in my basement. You can grow it, and then it's a plant. It grows naturally. I can't stress that enough. There's nothing added to it. It's literally like if you grew roses and you took the rose buds and you ground them into flour and then made something out of it. It's like that. It's a plant. We take the flowers of it, we grind it into stuff, and you can make it into things. You can inhale it, you can infuse it into food, you can press it into or extract it into alcohol or oil and make a tincture. You can do all kinds of things straight from the plant. There's really no other process that needs to happen. So again, why I caution you on buying things on the internet, because they can be synthetically made. Number 2, in my opinion, most important thing, it's not psychoactive. There is zero psychoactivity to CBD, okay? You will not feel high. Now, when you're getting something that's from the plant, if you were to grow it in your yard, pick the flower of CBD, your CBD flowers, and use it, either inhale it or, extract it into a tincture or infuse it into foods, right? There are trace amounts of THC. It is not enough to make you high. Let me say that again. It is not enough to make you high. You will not feel high. There are trace amounts. It is under the legal limit, so that's why CBD is legal, right? CBD has been legal for a long time. It is not illegal because it will not make you high, because there are trace amounts of THC in it. Now, it will not make you high. I'm just saying that one more time. It will not make you high. But there are trace amounts in it, just so you know, because I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that there isn't anything in it. I'm telling you that there's trace amounts that won't make you high. Okay? So I really just want to say that 1,000 times, because I don't want you to be scared of it. But I'm going to tell you something really important right now. The plant, if you were to go grow the plant, pick the flower and use it for something, there's trace amounts of THC in it. This is called full spectrum. Full spectrum, right? If you're taking notes, write that down. That means that it's straight from the plant into flower, trace amounts, CBD, full CBD, trace amounts of THC will not make you high, full spectrum. Those trace amounts of THC, though, can be important because they add certain properties to the plant, right? A lot of that, the benefit of that, having those trace amounts, is the anti-inflammatory purposes. So when you're looking for a product that you want to use as an anti-inflammatory, having those trace amounts in a full spectrum product is super important, right? And that's just one example. If you're okay without having the trace amounts, if you want to be super cautious and make sure there's no THC in your CBD at all, then you won't be able to grow it, right? You will have to buy it from someone that has already extracted, they've already extracted the THC. So they grew the flower, they grew the plant, they picked the flowers, they put it through a process that removed the THC. Now that's called broad spectrum. Okay? That's called broad spectrum. And you will see these two things on products. So if you were to shop in a store, online for CBD, again, it's perfectly legal, you will see broad spectrum, which means that it's just CBD. It means they took that plant flower and they did something to it to take this THC out. If you see full spectrum, that means it has trace amounts, but not enough to make you high. It's very, very low. It's like below 0.03, like so low. It will make you high, okay? But that's full spectrum and broad spectrum, and that's just important for you to know because the more you know, the more comfortable you're gonna be, right? And the more you know, and that's my whole point here. I'm educating you so that you don't have to be afraid of CBD, okay? CBD, again, it's non-psychoactive, it's legal, it is available. Because it's legal, it is widely available. You can buy it online. But again, I'm cautioning you to look at and see what's in it. How is it made? Did someone just pick it and pick the flower and extract, and send it to you, like make something out of it? Or did they go through a process to extract pieces of it and make it synthetic? What did they do to do that? So it is natural and it is available and it is legal. Health benefits. Now, this could be a whole podcast in itself on just the health benefits, but there is research on CBD. Now, there's more research on CBD than there is THC because it is legal and it's been legal for a while. And they found a considerable amount of health benefits. I mean, again, I could go on forever, but we've got epilepsy. There's actually quite a bit of research on epilepsy that CBD can help that. There's a brand that you may have heard of, seen, called Charlotte's Web. And it was made by parents of a little girl. She was like 6, I want to say. She was young. Maybe she was younger. But anyway, made by parents of a young girl who had epilepsy. And they found that this concentrated CBD actually helped her seizures. And they were able to extend her life considerably by using CBD. It helps with pain, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, also any chronic pain anywhere in your body. It helps relieve the inflammation in your body. It is an anti-inflammatory inside and outside. So topically, it's fantastic because it'll reduce inflammation by going through your skin. Systematically, as you intake it, inhale it, or ingest it, it will go into your body systems to reduce inflammation. Our body actually makes cannabinoids. So CBD and THC are called cannabinoids, right? They're from the plant. Your body makes cannabinoids also, and it has a whole system that knows how to use it. And it's so cool because they actually just figured this out like maybe 40 years ago. Your body knows how to use cannabinoids. It knows how to use cannabis. So if you give it CBD, it's just supplementing the system that's already in your body. It's like taking a vitamin. And that's how I usually explain CBD to people. It's like taking a vitamin because it works in your body naturally. Let's take vitamin D for an example. I love vitamin D, right? Vitamin D, your body naturally makes vitamin D, right? And we all know that sunlight helps our bodies make vitamin D, right? When the winter months come and there's less sunlight, the days are shorter, our body doesn't make as much vitamin D. And probably a lot of you have actually had your doctor say, take a vitamin D supplement, right? Help your body build up its reserves of vitamin D so that you can feel better, function better. The same thing can happen in our body with cannabinoids, right? Our body can make cannabinoids, but if we're deficient in them, we need to supplement it. And supplementing that system, because of what that system does in our bodies, it helps regulate all the other systems, your digestion, your respiration, your reproductive system, your lymphatic, all the things. So helping fill up that tank, if you will, with additional cannabinoids like CBD, non-psychoactive, will help your body function better, right? So in any way, chronic pain, epilepsy, anxiety, it's incredible for calming your nervous system. It brings a sense of calm. It interacts with your neurons in your brain. So it helps, the things like serotonin and dopamine, all of those neurons in your body that affect how you feel. They all need to be regulated. And what the cannabinoid system does is help regulate those so that they're more in balance, that they're not off balance, right? When our dopamine is off balance, we feel really low. When our serotonin is off balance, we feel really low, right? Or it could be off balance the other way, So filling up that system with additional cannabinoids can only supplement like a vitamin, right? It will not cause any intoxication at all. So we've got non-psychoactive or non-intoxicating health benefits, pain relief, calming effects, epilepsy. It's legal. There's minimal side effects. CBD is generally well tolerated. And working in this business, I have had people, not tolerate THC, and that's not uncommon. Everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. And just be, like tolerating foods. A lot of people can't tolerate certain foods. My body can't. I can't take Tylenol. My body just reacts to it. I get a rash and I get swollen. So it's not uncommon for people's body, your body may not like certain substances. And it's more common to see that with THC than CBD. I don't know if I've actually ever heard anyone say they didn't tolerate CBD. It's generally well tolerated because, again, it's not intoxicating, so you don't feel so much of a shift like you do with THC. And it's a regulating substance. It's coming into your body to help everything regulate, not dysregulate, right? So minimal side effects. So it's very safe, safer than pharmaceuticals. Who knows what we're putting into our body with pharmaceuticals? If in a perfect world, I'd love to have everybody take CBD and not Advil, right? I know a lot of people that don't want to take Advil, and I don't blame you. But CBD could be a natural pain reliever. It grows in your yard, right? I know I keep saying that. So it's natural, it grows, there's minimal side effects, it's widely available. There is more and more research. This is a trend. It's It's been growing for a while. Now that we're legalizing THC, it's getting more attention. Both types of cannabis are getting more attention. There's more and more research. If it was legal, we would have even more research, and that would be amazing. But again, that's a little bit beyond our control. So I want you to understand that there's nothing to be afraid of, that it won't make you feel crazy. It won't make you feel psychoactive. It won't make you feel intoxicated. In fact, this is also important to mention. CBD, because again, when we relate it to THC, where when you take THC, you do feel high, you do feel a shift in your awareness, a shift in your senses. With CBD, it's really not so much that there's a shift. You become more present. So you become more aware, like just present in the moment, like you're just more attuned to what's going on in your body. You are more present for what you're doing. You're more present at work. You could be more focused. You could be more clear. It really helps with brain fog. Really helps me focus on what I'm doing. I don't know if I would be able to sit still and record a podcast without it, honestly. Being in perimenopause in my late 40s here, it can be hard to focus sometimes. And CBD really helps me focus on what I'm doing so that I can stay present, and which helps me with my food choices, which helps me with sensing my fullness and my hunger. I can ask myself, if I start to feel hungry, I pause and I ask myself, am I hungry? What do I really need? Like last night, I was hungry. I was so hungry. And then I paused for a second and I was like, you know what? I'm really tired. Let me try closing my eyes for a second. Let me have some water, close my eyes. Sure enough, I fell asleep for like 2 hours. I was tired. I paused. Instead of just grabbing food because I was like, go, I'm hungry. No, I paused and I was like, no, I'm tired. I was able to be aware. It helps me when I'm eating, especially when I'm out and about at a restaurant and they give you these giant portions. It helps me eat a portion of that, half of it, 3/4 of it, and then stop when I'm full. It helps me be aware and present in the moment. But there's not a shift. It's almost like there's the absence of the symptom. For my anxiety, a lot of times in the morning, I'll get the kind of that, it's like an internal buzzing almost, like an internal jitter buzz that's my anxiety in my chest. Or, it'll feel real tight in my chest. That's how my anxiety usually feels. And if I'm feeling that, almost like it's hard to breathe. If I'm feeling that and I take my CBD, that goes away. So it's not so much that I felt, a shift to be high or drunk or anything like that. It's just that then that's not there anymore. And it's fantastic because who doesn't want that to go away, right? So it's the shift of not being there anymore, right? If you're taking a kind that's energizing, it'll make you not feel tired. If you're taking a type that makes you go to sleep, you'll feel tired. The shifts are subtle with CBD. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I hope this helped with some education and helped you understand a little bit more about just CBD and why you don't have to be afraid of it and how it can help you, with your healthy habits. So if you want more personalized information, I would love to hear from you. I am always available to help you. My email is beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com. I do hang out on Instagram quite a bit. I am Beth_CannAFitnessNutrition. And I would be happy to chat. I'd be happy to answer any questions about cannabis or how it's related to fitness and nutrition. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you know someone that would also be helped by this, I would love it if you would share so that more people can understand the truth about cannabis. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.